To have God realization, the whole entire body has to be aligned. As I said in other messages, the two hemispheres of the brain, have to synchronize with each other. The front and the back part of the brain has to be in coherence. The nervous system, the whole nervous system has to be has to further develop and reach a point of refinement. The heart has to be aligned, has to become aligned with the brain activity, with the brainwave activity. All cells, all molecules, all atoms, all particles, all subatomic particles have to be aligned with each other. There's a lot of things that has to happen in regards to having that type of experience. It's not an easy feat by any means. This takes years of training, and even if a person had a sudden enlightenment, it doesn't mean that it's full. That's the ultimate, that they're experiencing the ultimate self per se. They're probably only taking on what the body and the subtle bodies are able to take on. And as time goes on, of course, that enlightenment continues to unfold. Once the body, the brain, the heart, everything is becoming more refined and operating at a certain level, so that the rest of the awakening can continue to unfold. So this is not a simple process. It's a long process. So even if it's sudden enlightenment, there's still a process that is needed. And even if it's a what's the term, gradual enlightenment, still there's a reason why it's gradual, because the physical body and the subtle bodies cannot handle that type of experience all at once without it going through a process of refinement. So either way, the individual is still going to have to do a lot of work. If a person have a sudden level of enlightenment, a sudden enlightenment, their body's still going to go through the cleaning up process. So it can happen either way. A person can have sudden enlightenment and they still have to go through the cleaning up process, where they have to deal with all the dark shadows and the unconscious, unresolved material that needs to be resolved. All this stuff still needs to take place. So it can happen before the moment of enlightenment. It can happen afterwards, but it has to happen. So there's a lot that goes on in there. So this is why brainwave entrainment is highly important. It doesn't have to be done through brainwave entrainment, but brainwave entrainment is, in my opinion, maybe the best way to do that, because at least with low carrier frequency brainwave entrainment, you're not just synchronizing the two hemispheres of the brain, you're also allowing the brain and the nervous system to go through order, disorder, so they can reach an ultimate state to handle that type of experience. But it's also cleaning out the karmic goop that's trapped within the nadis. So as I said before, in many other segments that I've done, that the nadis, which are the psychic channels, the subtle channels that are coming in and out of the subtle bodies and outside of the gross body, all those channels have to be purified so that life force energy can travel through. So life force energy is the same thing as chi and ki and all of that. Any term that you hear in regards to life force energy, that's what that is. So that when you go through that experience, especially if you're going through the Kundalini awakening experience, the energy that's traveling from the tailbone of the spine, that energy has to travel up through the spine to the spinal column. And while it's going up to the spinal column, that energy is also going through all the nerves that are attached to the spinal column. So that energy has to pass through all those nerves, through the nerves, the meridians, and the nadis. All that stuff has to be purified, so that full energy that's coming from the base of the spine is going through all the channels, the nadis, that are available, so that once that energy travels throughout the entire body, but including the the crown of the head, uh, that thing's experienced, and that thing's experience is what people are referring to as yoga with a capital Y. So all the yoga techniques that you've seen, the asanas and the pranayamas and all that, that's the preparation of yoga. That isn't yoga yet. That's the preparation of yoga. And uh, that's only two aspects of yoga. Yoga is actually much more. There's six other limbs of yoga that should be done to prepare the body and the subtle bodies, the nervous system, the brain, the heart, so that when this energy passes through, it's passing through without any blockages. So when people are suffering from Kundalini syndrome, is because there are blockages within the system. So the blockages have to be clear. So once the blockages are clear, and the energy from the tailbone of the spine travels up the spinal column throughout all the nerves, the meridians, the nadis, and so on. This energy passes through. It reaches the top of the head, the crown of the head, and the person becomes illuminated. But when you become illuminated in that moment, you realize that you're not a person. You realize that you are the entire universe and beyond. So this is beyond the individual itself. You become all individuals. You become the collective itself. You not that you become it. You realize that you've always been that. So that's the experience. The experience is of realizing what you actually are, but there isn't a you that's experiencing it. You become, or you realize that you're the experience itself. But when I say you, I'm not talking about you, the individual. I'm talking about you as the ultimate self, the ultimate being, if you want to use that term. God, Brahman, and Pra-Brahman. You realize that you've always been that, and everything that you thought you were is the imagination, it's the dream, it's the illusion that Pra-Brahman is creating. You realize all that, but you also realize too, if you get to that highest level, that the thing that is creating is not even that either. Pra-Brahman isn't creating anything. It just is what it is. It's just there's an illusion that makes it appear to be something else. So once you break through the illusion, you realize that Pra-Brahman isn't creating anything. It's always been that. But you can also say it's creating it too, because you can use all perspectives in this case, because at that level, all perspectives are true, all perspectives are false, and you're not in any resistance between any of them, because all of them are true, all of them are false, and that's fully accepted by you as the ultimate self, as Pra-Brahman. People may say para-Brahman, right? But if you're using Sanskrit, if you're trying to use Sanskrit terminology, it's Pra-Brahman. I'm saying it wrong, but it's the best I can do with my English language. But that's what you realize that you are. And of course, this thing that we call Pra-Brahman isn't Pra-Brahman, because there is no name. Yet all names are within or under that umbrella of this very unknown, which becomes fully known to you, that realizes what you actually are. So this is beyond the who, what, when, where, why, how. Because at this point you come to realize, which again, there is no you, but you is included in that, but you've transcended that perspective of an individual self once you realize that you are God itself. And again, this is beyond names, but you can call it God, you can call it Brahman, you can call it Krishna, you can call it Jehovah, you can call it Allah, you can call it so many different things. The ground of all being, the chain of all being. It doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it source, you can call it light, you can call it the illuminated one. Doesn't matter. It's beyond all names, all titles. Yet every name and title that I've mentioned is within that manifestation of the source of that you'll come to experience if you can clear up those nadis, synchronize the two hemispheres of the brain, bring the front and the back brain part of the brain into coherence, activating the heart, because that's highly important too. If you want to experience ultimate love, and realize that this level of ultimate love is a love for itself, but it's not a love for itself per se, because the love and the thing that it's in love with are the same thing. So there are no distinctions between love and the thing that it's loving, because at that level, it's all non-duality. It's all non-dual. So the lover and the thing that it loves for the thing that it loves becomes one thing. And heart, and at this level, there's no difference between heart and brain, because at that level, there are no distinctions between any hearts or any brains. And it goes on and on and on until all distinctions are removed and all there is being. You realize at that level that all there is existence itself, but also non-existence, because again, it's non-dual. So both existence and non-existence are are is the existence, are or is the existence, whatever. This is by far the most incredible experience you can ever have, and anyone can do this. It just takes time and practice. It's not an easy feat, even though there are some people who are fortunate to instantly come to this experience without any practice. But again, even after having that experience, the physical body will purge itself, and through that purging, that can be very uncomfortable, but it's very well worth it. Once having experience why making such a sacrifice is highly important. So that's what I'll say about that. But thank you for the questions in regards to what I'm speaking of here. But this is what I'm referring to is both spiritual enlightenment and Kundalini awakening, because the two can happen at the same time as well, usually, but most people have one or the other, or have them one after each other, but both can happen simultaneously, where you realize who you actually are, not just as the individual, but as the collective. And when I say the collective, I'm talking about the entire universe, and I mean this literally. I'm not saying this as philosophically or metaphorically or anything like that. I mean this literally. You come to realize that you are the actual universes, and universes, the universe and universes, because it's the multiverse, and even beyond that. All of that is covered within that experience. Even if it lasts a second, or if it lasts 10 minutes, or lasts an hour, or days, from that standpoint, a second's not any different than a week, or any different than a month, or a year, or a decade. The experience, because within this experience, there's no distinction between time. So even that's included and not included at the same time. Very difficult to explain, but if you want to know what it actually is, you actually have to do the work and become that, or realize that you are that. I'll leave it at that.